Hey guys, what's up? It's Jake, and today I welcome you to this DayZ video where we are going to be discussing base building and all it entails in DayZ standalone. Now, base building in DayZ is quite a touchy subject because it's something that some people are very passionate about, and for others, a lot of people don't really care about it. Now, if you fit into the category of not caring about it, I feel like you should maybe watch this video just to find out some things that people do care about and some of the benefits of base building, even if you still don't plan on making them, because if you don't plan on making them, you might still plan on finding other people's bases and finding the cool stuff that lies within them. Now, what kind of cool stuff lies within them? What should they look like? What kind of features are confirmed? And what kind of features do I personally want and some of my viewers want in the game? Well, all those things and more will be discussed in today's video. First off, I want to kind of shortly talk about what should the base look like. Now, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, well, I mean, it's just a base building, like it's whatever the user wants it to look like. But the thing is here, it's important to think this is a somewhat realistic game. You know, we don't want to have bases like that were in the Epoch DayZ game, or we don't want bases that look like Rust either. So, what kind of bases do we want? Well, what the devs and players have kind of discussed is more of a base that fits into the world. So if you're going to actually find a base that fits into the world of Chernarus or DayZ, you're going to imagine some sandbags, some tents maybe, campfires, barrels like already in the game, maybe a generator, kind of woodsier things, and maybe you're kind of the person that wants to build a base inside of an already existing structure, such as a house, which we'll get into that later. First off, I also want to talk about features that are confirmed. So base building is not something that is just only a future thing. There already is some aspects of base building in the game, which many of you may not be aware of. So in the game, there are already items such as tents, barrels, and actually there's a variety of tents, and I believe some other sorts of traps and stuff. Now, what this entails is storage items. Now, barrels are small and can be easily hidden, but they can't store that many things inside them. Maybe a few guns, some food, ammo, etc. But tents already come in 3 different sizes. You've got the car tent, you have the civilian tent, and then you also have the military tent. And in order of size and storage, you've got the civilian tent is first, storing quite a bit of stuff, but not as much as the military tent, which does not store as much stuff as the car tent. Well, and they kind of store the same amount of stuff, but the car tent is much larger, easier to find, and can apparently fit a car in it, although I don't believe any sort of saving the car system already exists. Those 3 items are pretty easy to hide in the woods and can store a lot of items. I'm talking, I believe, 10 or more guns each. Civilian tent might be able to store about 10 guns, but the military tent can store so much loot. I mean, if you guys have never seen that, I actually have a video now I'll link about tents in DayZ standalone, and I'm pretty sure the basic sort of tents will exist in the future, as in the future DayZ base building. These tents will be there, if not more. And in fact, I want to go ahead and jump into one tent idea that has been sort of discussed with the devs. They've liked the idea, and I honestly think there's a really good chance of it happening. So this first tent idea that could come for base building, especially in like DayZ beta or beyond, is a like crafted tent. So you might kill a cow or a deer or an elk or some sort of animal with enough hide or skin to be able to craft a tent with maybe some like sticks or a branch and a hide, maybe some ropes, etc. And I think any sort of crafting they can put in the game is really a good thing, and I think most people agree with that. Now, of course, we don't want to get to as many crafting recipes as like Minecraft has necessarily, and they want it to be more realistic ones. So like obviously, like literally in real life, if you skinned a deer, you could actually make a sort of handcrafted lean-to tent with literally sticks, rope, and a hide. So hopefully this tent couldn't store too many things. Maybe it can't last a long time. Maybe it's more temporary versus like a military tent is more permanent. Or maybe it is permanent and it takes more materials than I'm talking about. But either way, it's a good idea. And for anybody that's discussed that, I respect the idea and I hope it is added to the game. Now, let's go back to some more confirmed features, which, if you guys didn't know, there are, like I said, there's already features in the game that are base building related, and there's actually quite a few confirmed features as well. So, to start off, there's generators, which, if you guys didn't know, basically are these, like, they already work, actually, in the game to some extent, and it's just, it'll probably be gas-powered, and it's a loud, noisy, I guess it's the same word, little device that runs off of, like I said, gas and provides electricity. Now, the already things that have been kind of working, if you get into the files, are like lights. You can already hook up lights, which that's another confirmed feature, to the generator, and they will power on, and they're kind of like spotlights or floodlights, and they exist in your base to just kind of light the area up at night. Now, obviously, this will be very spottable, and probably not the best idea unless you have a lot of people there to defend it, which does create some interesting gameplay. Another confirmed feature is some sort of long-distance communication device. So there's going to be a walkie-talkie in the game, megaphones, and then also a long-distance communication. So supposedly walkie-talkies won't necessarily work all the way across the map. Now, this might mean, like, you can't maybe use a walkie-talkie from Tizzy to Berezino, but you can use one from maybe Electro to Berezino. We don't really know the confirmed ranges yet, and that can always be tweaked, but this long-distance communication will supposedly be a more permanent, like, sitting, working communication device that you can get onto and talk to somebody with, like, a radio or something across the map, and it kind of broadcasts, which is really, really cool, and that's kind of going to be a cool thing to fit in your base. Also, there will be like some sort of barbed wire and defense mechanism that you can wrap around your base. I believe there's already, you can kind of mess with it already in the game. Check the subreddit of DayZ if you want to see some gameplay of barbed wire. Some sort of sand barricades will be in the game, and then sort of like to surround your base with if you want. Again, though, the larger you make your base, the easier it is to find, so you really got to decide what's worth it. There's already a Watchtower that was talked about long ago. I don't know if this will be craftable or findable or what, and who knows if it will actually come to the game, but it has been, let's say, discussed already and sort of implemented. And I'll have a picture on screen now of that. There's been some more talk of storage. Like I said, you've got the oil barrels and tents already, but apparently you'll be able to actually dig and then store a, like, hidden, I don't want to say hidden treasure, but a hidden box underground to store things in, which is kind of cool, and I'm sure there will be more sort of chests and crates to hide inside your base. Farming is another base building-esque item as well. It is already implemented in the game and honestly could go even farther. Who knows if we'll actually get some sort of animal farming, or maybe even, you know, we've already got like crops and stuff, so I don't know if we'll be able to cage up animals. I don't want it like Minecraft style, but that would be cool, and the farming that's in the game is already pretty good. I actually don't have much experience with it, but I've seen a lot of footage, and it does look pretty cool, and for those of you that have done it, I think it provides quite a bit of food, if I'm right about that. Also, there's some sort of larger fireplaces for permanent cooking and heat, so basically, instead of just a campfire, you can craft like a stone, like, fireplace, that is larger than the campfire and I guess provides more heat and permanent cooking, like I kind of said. Now, again, I don't have much experience with these, but they are apparently pretty useful and would still look really cool to add to your base. Moving on to features I want added to base building in DayZ Standalone. Now, these aren't just my ideas, and I don't have a bunch of them written out because honestly, you could go on and on and on. These are just some that I really think should be implemented and that should be discussed right here on this video, and I want your thoughts on these as well. So if you're listening, make sure to prepare your thoughts in the comment section down below. One feature I want a lot is water wells. Now, this is because I think it gives a reason to come back to your base instead of risking yourself at like water fountains in cities, is having like being able to dig a well, and I don't really know the whole process, but maybe you have to collect stones and just maybe dig long enough, or maybe you could have to find some sort of drilling device and then hook it up to the generator. Maybe it's rare, maybe there's a certain point in the map you can only occasionally find this drilling device at. Just the more things they can add to the game that make you go to specific points in the map for like little missions, just adds little things to the game, such as maybe a helicopter in the north of the map, little events that can happen, and I don't want to get too much into other things that don't exist in the base building realm. So let's go back to, like I said, the water wells, and of course if you didn't know, your DayZ character needs water to survive, so having a permanent source of water is good, and also maybe you can draw from this well for, let's say, farming. So water wells would be a good feature. I don't think there's many people that disagree with that. Yeah, and then another feature is maybe a lock. So it's hard to say if locks would be a good feature in DayZ because the way Rust does it is kind of cool. It's just that it kind of permanently locks people out of your base. This is one of the things I really want your guys' opinion on. Should DayZ's like bases have the option of like locking the entry gate or something like that, or should the bases always be enterable? I don't personally have an opinion on it. I don't think they should or shouldn't be in the game, and I really am gonna kind of develop my opinion based on what my audience says. So don't go criticizing me. This is just an idea that I personally would like to see what people think about. Another one that's been definitely discussed, though, is boarding up of windows. So if you want to have a structure that already exists, such as like a rotting house or just any house in a city, I guess you could board up the windows and kind of make a base in there, maybe move some barrels inside, which, while it is nice to be able to use a freestanding house or something, you always run the risk of people, of course, finding the house. So what makes me, with the boarding up of windows, though, that makes me think that they will have some sort of locking in the game. And obviously there's already a lockpick, which allows you to lock doors, but you simply need another lock. All you need to unlock the door is another lockpick, or I believe even just hitting the door with an axe works currently. So who knows what they will do with that in the future, though, DayZ. So a few other ideas I actually asked my little brother, who doesn't play DayZ but does play video games. I wanted to see what somebody that doesn't play DayZ might think of some cool ideas for a base to have, and he said a couple things would be like mountable items. So imagine being able to mount, let's say, like an M249 or machine gun onto your base for defending it, because guys, if there aren't locks, you're going to have people defending large-scale bases. Now, personally, I don't plan on having like a large-scale base. I would want to hide my stuff more so in barrels or tents, but some people, of course, will have larger bases, maybe trading camps and stuff. If you guys have never seen the trading camps on DayZ Underground, people have already done this. So having a place to be able to mount machine guns would be really cool for defending against, let's say, vehicle attacks. I mean, we're talking the way future of DayZ at this point, but it's always possible, and it's just something to add to the gameplay, and it's always an option, even if it's just for visual appeal. It would still be super sick to have some mounted machine guns on your base. I mean, come on. Another thing would be mountable, like, binoculars, or like a telescope on the top of what we already talked about, maybe the sniper tower. So imagine you have this watchtower on top, and you can find, like, a telescope in game, or simply mount some binoculars to it. I don't know, rip the binoculars in half, create a telescope. I don't really care. I think mountable stuff would just be cool for the base. Also, some more traps should be introduced. There's already traps like the bear trap and I believe like a rabbit snare, but imagine being able to lay like some sort of like electrical trap or just maybe more bear traps around the base. Just traps are cool in general, even if they're meant for humans and not animals. Also, the last item that my brother kind of suggested, and I kind of agree with, is some sort of like crafting table or crafting-esque thing to make more advanced technology. So let's say you wanted to make some sort of advanced explosive like C4, maybe, or not C4, I don't know how advanced C4 is, but like advanced explosives, or maybe like craft, maybe make bullets, I don't even know, stuff like that. You can maybe have to make a permanent sort of crafting bench to make things like explosives that allow you to blow up other people's bases or vehicles, or stuff like that, maybe blow a door down, I don't know. But this is very advanced stuff in the game, very future stuff we're talking about, but it's always fun while we're in between sort of updates in the game, because right now, guys, we're sitting around waiting on beta to come out, or 0.63, and honestly, it's fun to sit here and discuss base building stuff. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts, and if you aren't already subscribed, make sure to subscribe for more DayZ content, and I hope to see all of you guys in my next stream or video. Thanks for watching.